TCG Meta Slayer, what's up guys? I'm coming in for the new drop. We got the One Piece. Of course, we already have the Paramount War coming out, set 2. And today they just dropped the Pillars of Power, or Pillars of Strength, third set. So I'm going to go over it really quick. Again, I'm a super competitive player, but I obviously enjoy casual gameplay as well. Just try to find a balance. I played Magic the Gathering since the 90s, winning a lot of tournaments, going to a lot of Grand Prix, getting day 2s, top 32s, winning locals, entering Pro Tour qualifiers and stuff like that. And, recently I've been playing Flesh and Blood competitively, and I'm also bringing things together with Bandai. I really think Dragon Ball is like their best game, followed by like a Digimon, and now we have One Piece, guys. So I'm really interested to see how this game develops. If you see my review, check it out. I can tell you about my current thoughts on the game. I think it's a super, super fun game. A little bit, luck-based because of the triggers, and not as much complexity as and strategy as Dragon Ball, but still definitely brings the, somewhat of the fun and the theme of One Piece, the anime, which I've been watching, by the way, too. I'm a huge One Piece fan, really quick. I've been watching it since early 2000s when it was available in English translations. And I also wish that this game got a little bit more thematic. But again, it's still fine for any One Piece fan, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, we know the current state of the meta has people running around with Zoro Rush decks, that being the top pick, followed by, red and green Law, which is also somewhat of an offensive deck. People like the Kaido defensive deck, along with the green Eustace. There's also now some red and green and straight red Luffy decks. And then, of course, the other one that's really popular is the blue Don Flamingo. So I think the state of the meta it's kind of diverse, but again, it's really favoring Rush. But let's take a look at what we have here. So again, just really quick, I'm going to go through the set, some of the cards, some of the points. I think Whitebeard's an interesting leader. He starts off with the most life, but like in the anime, he's pretty much already like, in his final days. So he takes a life every turn, but you do have some red cards to mitigate that. I think it's decent. It's thematic, but I don't think it's really that powerful. We have seen a couple of these perform at some local Japanese tournaments. If you guys aren't aware, you can always check winning deck lists at One Piece Top Decks. And again, I'm playing both competitively and casually. Everything that I'm building, I'm always playtesting against the meta, making sure I can beat the top decks. And if I make something that's, considered a popular pick, I definitely want to slay the meta by putting my own twist on it. So again, you can guarantee, or I can guarantee, and take my word that these in-depth analyses are going to be very informative and valuable to you guys. So that being said, as far as just red as a general strategy, I think it's kind of cool that it can lower people's battle power. Unfortunately, it can't KO them like it can in Dragon Ball, but you can definitely lower their power so that you can either attack them with your other characters, or you can play cards that say, KO a character that has, 4,000 or less battle power. So then, for example, if you go up and try to knock out this King Do, you might want to play some cards that lower his, BP to 4,000, and then you can finally knock him out, etc., etc. So that's pretty cool. I don't think this deck is going to be too dominant. Again, it's a fun theme, but I also don't know how it's going to mix around with a lot of the red and green or straight red decks that are out there. We have started to see Law play, for example, Makino, because again, this helps buff up characters. Same thing with Zoro. It's kind of one of the best cards that come out of this set. I see here with Marco. Marco's interesting. He's supposed to be able to come back, kind of like a phoenix. But overall, I think the main issue with red is I'm just curious to see what Bandai is going to do to control the rush. They haven't been really giving us much rush, but if anything, we've seen Magic the Gathering or other card games, they're going to have to really, really keep rush super limited. Otherwise, one day there's going to be just a deck of just non-stop rush characters, which could probably just be, maybe too powerful. Who knows? Oh yeah, jumping into a green. So the film deck came out. I think it looks great. I don't think the deck itself is going to be really strong. The theme is way too concentrated. The archetype doesn't really have much options. It just plays one way with basically all the cards in the set or in the starter deck. Not much room to customize it. Jumping back here, we've also seen Odin, or Kinemon, sorry, not Kinemon. Where is Odin? I think people have tried playing Kinemon, but I think Odin seems to be the more popular green leader. I think Sanji might be kind of fun. I do like how One Piece is trying to buff up their skillless cards as it would be in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball basically just uses skillless cards, to fuel the synergies for other cards. But again, they also have a good power to cost ratio. And that's the same with One Piece. As you can see, anything that's generally skillless, right, is going to have a higher attack power. So if we jump back here, again, looking at King Do, 5 for 7,000 with no talents or skills or abilities. It's a pretty good ratio. So I kind of like how they're promoting leaders to help build that, right? So this guy, obviously lets you kind of play characters and get some more Dawn out of it as long as they have no base effects. So that's kind of cool. And he's also green and blue, so there's some options there. I'm definitely interested in trying out this guy, especially over time. I'm just going to go through these colors really quick. Blue also seen results. People in Japan have been playing Ivankov. It's really cool to be able to draw back up after you have 0 cards because, again, you can just straight up counter on your turn and then draw back up. So that's kind of nice, right? At least 2 a turn. You kind of get 2 free counters a turn with Ivankov as long as you're able to redraw. I think Blue has gotten some decent tools to piece things together. It's interesting to see a more aggressive Luffy. So this is nice. They're going to definitely need to draw 2 as well. As you can see, this guy gets double attack. This is pretty crazy, right? I mean, he is a 6 for 7,000, right? So he costs a little bit more than like King do, but now you can you can trash 2 cards and then bam, double attack, and you get to return a character with 4 or less. So you could probably remove a blocker if it's their only one. Then you can definitely, man, just really. I like how Blue is getting a nice mix of offense and defense. So then, players have more options. I think Buggy's also been pretty popular. Okay, no, he's just a searcher for impulse down, which again, if you put enough in your deck, he'll definitely give you card advantage. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of room for Blue to continue to grow and have a nice balance. I like Purple. So Purple got a big boost, I think, with impulse down. There's a lot of offense and defense mixed in here. You have cool stuff like the Shiki counter 2000 with Trigger. I mean, it's just good to always have 2000s counters. I think the leader is decent, Magellan, but I don't think he's going to stand up to either playing someone like Kaido. So here's some gold for you guys. I think Kaido is best played for an offensive purple deck, and I'll show you guys soon my build. And then I think King is the best defensive leader. I've seen nobody play King, and I think King is my favorite purple leader. I'm definitely going to put up results with that and show you guys my deck list. It's basically the more defensive version of what people are doing with Kaido. So that's my little 2 cents there. Oh, I definitely like Shiryu for sure. It's not bad. He can definitely just KO someone, so that's always good to get rid of like people like Chopper, who's a blocker. You got like a Law blocker that's green. You have like BG. You also have people like Nami who give rested Dawn to people. So this is always a good way to just get rid of those characters that give value, or like Juri Bonnie. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, what else was interesting here? Oh, I think she was pretty nice, too, Domino. Okay, no, she's just another blocker, so a little bit more of a defense there. But all in all, I see some good purple cards I can pull and go in either like a defensive purple deck or offensive. So really, really cool there. When I'm looking at black, the only issue, I really want to get the Marines just because I like their theme. But the problem with the Marines, to me right now, is that they rely too much on trashing cards from your hand. So I really want to see a blue and black leader to try to mitigate that. And of course, their main thing is to try to reduce. Let's see what this guy does here. Yeah, so they basically can, like knock out and like active or affect characters that have, really, really low energy costs. And their whole theme is about playing other characters that reduce the Dawn costs. Sorry, yeah, that's the official term, the Dawn. So I think it's cool. Let's take a look at Kuzan, aka Aokiji. See, so like for example, this guy every turn he attacks, he'll definitely be a must-have if you play black because his value every turn, you don't even have to invest any Dawn, right? You just automatically minus someone's 4 cost or their Dawn during the turn, and then he gives you a card when you play him. So he's kind of like free in a way, and basically this ties in the whole strategy of black. So definitely a must-have card, guys. And I think that's pretty much it. We have one last page here just to go over the secret rares. Again, we have Aokiji, aka Kuzan here. This is another key piece for black because basically this is like a permanent effect from Dragon Ball. During your turn, always the characters on the opponent's side are -5, and then obviously when he plays, he can affect and basically bring someone down from 5 or less to 0, and then KO that character, and then he turns on all your other Marines effects. So Again, I don't really think Marines are going to be that good right now. They definitely need more cards. They need more ways to draw cards. But I look forward to seeing them with black and blue. All right, so let's jump on to the new set here. This is the one that I also haven't fully got a chance to look at, but I want to give my overall and beginning analysis on Pillars of Strength, because this is bringing a lot. First of all, I think it's awesome that they did wanted posters. You know, this is like kind of the bread and butter of One Piece, right? They throughout the anime and the manga, they kind of rate and rank the characters according to their belly or how much their cost is. You know, so the higher their bounty, the more powerful they're getting, right? Like Luffy and crew. So that's kind of cool. You know, this black and white thing here looks kind of neat. So they're definitely trying to push new ways to do collectible alternate artwork, and you know that's fine. You know me, I'm always a fan of the more like manga style and anime style. These definitely look cool. These third-party illustrators. It looks more like, you know, comic book style and graphic artist style. But it just doesn't look like One Piece to me, you know. But, you know, they're not terrible by any means. They could still be really cool to have in your collection. You know, I might even get one or two. So I haven't had a chance to look at all these cards, but what I want to start to say is I think Red is definitely getting some aggro boost. They're doing a lot of this, you know, plus increasing the plus powers of your characters. We're going to see that probably end up going a long way and being able to mix with a lot of different cards. Is this a secret? No, this is just... Oh, this is! Whitebeard, your turn to play KO up to one opponent's characters. Okay, not bad. Trash one event from your hand, you may play this character. Okay, so this is really sweet. This is a great card for, I think, almost any red deck, because you're going to want something that not only helps you KO blockers, or you're going to want to take out the opponent's opposing characters who are trying to, you know, race you down, obviously, in a offense versus offense or aggro versus aggro battle. And then you're probably going to see a lot of people now. You're going to have to run events, which can kind of hold you back. But, you know what, if you trash your event, then not only do you get to play him back and then KO something, but you still have a 6,000 character out on the board that they have to deal with. So that definitely, to me, is worth it. I wouldn't be surprised if like at least one or two of these pop up in every red deck. So I definitely want to mention that. Let's go. Let's get this young Garp. What's Garp up to here? Oh, nice. And they're also trying to give Red more free play, just like Dragon Ball. He'll be curious to see if, you know, they start banning this stuff later on. You know, because obviously free play, I mean, I don't know, a lot of people complain about it in Dragon Ball. I think it's fine as long as you can't, obviously, free play like 30 characters on one turn. But, you know, Dragon Ball is more of a faster game. Like, well, faster in that all the battle cards in Dragon Ball basically have Rush. In this game, it's like, you know, you play the extra characters for free, and they're just kind of stuck there until the next turn. So that's not, you know, as powerful. But obviously, if they have other on-play effects and stuff like that, that could, you know, start to add up really quick. All right, Captain Kuro. This was an interesting one. Again, this is also showing what Green's trying to do, which it likes to, you know, reset things back to active mode, you know, unrest them or reactivate them. That's pretty cool. And then the Arlong right here. This one I think would be fun, especially in the future. Just having two colors. Like, I'm not really a fan of Arlong. He's obviously a villain. But of course I play, like I said, I play Kaido and King, which I think they look really cool. But as far as just the mechanics go, I think this leader is going to go a long way, because as I think people get more in-depth and complex with the game and with a bigger card pool, I can see two-color leaders essentially becoming overpowered. You know, I mean, they're giving them 4 life, sure, but the amount of access they have to card combinations and synergies within 2 colors is going to, you know, more than make up for just 1 extra or 1 less life, you know? And especially this guy, he can basically, he can attack and spend 1, but you have to kind of invest 3 Dawn. You have to look at this carefully, which is okay. I mean, he's a 7,000 attacker essentially every turn, so you're still getting that Dawn to help you, you know, attack your opponent and, you know, hit them for a life or take out opposing battle cards. And then you pay 1, and then you can now play a character that costs 4 or less with Trigger. So the nice thing about that is ultimately you still save an energy, right? Because you have to invest 3 into it. If you pay, and then you want to obviously play things that cost 4. You don't want to play anything that costs, you know, 1 or 2, right? Because you've already spent 2 here. You might as well just do that. But as far as like spending 3 here and playing something with 4, it could end up being a really nice way to start to net extra, you know, Dawn, or always have 1 more Dawn than your opponent, as long as your, you know, your trigger cards are very powerful, right? So we'll see how this goes. And is this the... Oh, okay. Yeah, of course, green is also very good at resting. Yeah, again, resting and you know, sending things, you know, back to active, obviously. Oh, look, this guy's pretty nice. 2 options. I like that a lot, too. Um, so like I said, I'm just going to go through some highlights here. Maybe I'll go through some more in depth. I'll do more videos, obviously, when I find more tech and more strategies to share. And I also want to talk about Nami. Like, I don't know. I think this is good and bad because, number one, it's a different way to win the game as far as going to 0 cards in your deck. But to me, it just feels like this might be a repetitive deck. And honestly, it doesn't seem too fun. Seems a little silly, in my opinion. I think it's funner when you're playing in, like, you know, Magic the Gathering or even in Dragon Ball where you're trying to, like, deck the opponent, because at least in those instances, it's fun to see what cards you can destroy from your opponent's deck that they can't play anymore, right? With this game, if you're doing this style, you're just going to start seeing cards that you wish you could play go to your drop or your trash, and I think that's not as fun. So we'll see if this ends up being popular with players or even just powerful. I don't know. My initial instinct is no, but even if this deck for some reason becomes really dominant or meta, I don't think I'll be playing this deck. It just doesn't seem too fun to me. But hey, if you like it, man, all good, for sure, all good. I mean, Nami's a great character, and again, this is a different way to play, for sure, right? Like, there are Magic decks. I mean, arguably, you can say, this might be beyond the scope of most of you guys, but if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, there are a few blue decks in Magic where you try to actually win by removing your entire deck, so I can't say that it's, you know, the worst thing ever, but at least I think in Magic, it's kind of like a 1-2, you know, a 1 or 2 turn combo. You don't really like, in One Piece, I think you're going to end up over the you know, the course of multiple turns trying to deck yourself, but in Magic, there's combos to literally just, you know, remove like 50 cards or 100 cards from your deck all at once, so you can just win on that turn. There's like combos, right? This is more like a slow burn, I think, is my issue, right? But other than that, you know, we'll see. Oh, we got Zeph. I forgot what Zeph does here. Yeah, okay, he works for Nami, obviously, right? So, and this to me is a little counterintuitive. It's like, if you're destroying their life, right? It seems like to be able to knock them down from either 5 or 4 to 0 with this would still be almost, I don't know, the same as trashing 7 cards, right? Think about it. If the opponent has 5 life, and you attack him 6 times with him, and you hit every time, you win, right? And then if you do that too, you trash basically 42 cards from your deck, which is more than you have. And then, of course, you're also drawing cards. So, I don't know. It just feels weird to have to, like, win by damaging them and also trying to trash cards from your deck, especially when, again, you won't be able to use these cards. Unless, the only advantage to this is if again, there starts to be cards that can be replayed from your trash. So, there you go. There's some speculation there. Oh, Iceberg. This is also interesting. Can't believe it. Cannot attack. Jeez. Restless Leader. But you can play a Galila Company from your hand 5 or less. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen yet with this. I want to look through all of these cards again and come back. But my initial impression when I saw this leader is like, is there some kind of combo here or just some kind of strategy to set up a way to win with your battle cards? You know, he's pretty vulnerable. But maybe there's ways to, you know, get some extra stuff in, because the problem with Iceberg is because he cannot attack, this is almost like having a disadvantage, obviously, but, you know, you have one less way of attacking for the win each turn, because basically every leader gives you a free attack a turn, right? No matter what you have on the battlefield, you're guaranteed to attack the opponent with your leader. This guy basically now puts you at that disadvantage, so that's something to think about. I don't think he would be good in an offensive deck. I'm pretty sure you want him to be off defensive and kind of control, or just you want to go for the late game, maybe with some big attacks or something and some, you know, card advantage, basically getting rid of their board, getting rid of their hand so they're barely able to fight you, and then you just kind of slowly, you know, win at the end. So we'll see there. I'll just go through these really quick. We also get to see CP9. I don't think Rob Lucci's that interesting. Oh, this is not the leader. Where's the leader? Isn't there a Rob Lucci leader here? Oh, here we go. Yeah, just trash 2 cards and then, you know, set this leader's active. So again, I'm not really fond right now of black. You know, again, trashing 2 cards is a lot. And then you have to not only KO their character, yeah, you have to trash 2 cards. So I really like Rob Lucci. But I'm still have to look through and see the entire set and see how this works. And again, maybe in the future this stuff will get better. But for now, I'm just really concerned with Black's huge toll, right? The tax to have to just keep, trashing cards from your hand. I am interested in yellow. I think yellow is supposed to be the final color reveal. Again, yellow is what's going to affect the way you trigger. Again, triggers what makes this game a lot more luck-based, but at the same time, it just makes it so that way you want to build, decks to take advantage of it, really, which also concerns me. But we'll see how that pans out. So I'm definitely going to be playing yellow. And then, yeah, we saw the starter deck for Big Mom. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts right now. And again, I'm obviously not going to go through every single card, but I look forward to making some more One Piece videos and revisiting the cards from this set as I go through them more, as I start playing with them. Obviously, I'll like I said, I'll stick more to the English release sets for now. So that's going to mostly be the second set, the Paramount War. But it doesn't mean I don't read up on these cards and still try to plan up ahead and see what's going to be cool in the future. So thanks so much for hanging out, guys. Also stay tuned. Like I said, I want to post some lists soon for your tournaments, locals, competitive battles, and stuff like that, and hopefully even some gameplay videos soon. So don't forget, keep your faith, say praise, spread that love, be positive, be thankful, guys. So coming back at you.